Black Myth is a game I was pretty excited for. I mean, it's Sun Wukong, the great granddaddy of random bullshit Go. So a few years after the reveal to find out that it still looks like that, well fuck, that's kinda boring, huh? Now I know I sometimes come across as a bit of a soy boy and I love my cartoons, but I'm not opposed to realism. I just think that there needs to be some amount of stylization. Take the difference between Marvel's Spider-Man 1 and 2. When I saw the new default suits, I instantly hated them because, well, 1, they are objectively worse designs, both of them are too top-heavy, and 2, they're noticeably more vibrant than everything else in the game. The advanced suit is probably my favorite design for Spider-Man, and I doubt it would be that way if Insomniac didn't put so much, care into how it looks during the different times of day and, different weathers. During the day, the blue is lighter and the red is almost orange. And at night, well, it becomes like, the simple classic red and blue if it really matters that much to you. The lighting in the first game made it so that even if it was dark in gameplay, you could still see everything. But in the second game, sometimes you just get unlucky and can't see anything because, well, realism, I guess. Color makes me happy. What can I say? I'm just a girl. But I want to also talk about another series, another action game based on mythology, God of War. Now, we all know that the Greek games are stylized. I mean, look at Kratos. That is not achievable natty. But the Norse games are also pretty stylish. A lot of people just think that it's just realistic now, but that's not true. The biggest thing about this game is, the fact that it looks like it was filmed in one take. And admittedly, I thought it was fucking stupid. You can't see behind you. You have to look at the arrows to know when an attack is coming. And that is kind of lame. But you can listen to callouts from, the head and the boy. And it also adds an extra layer of challenge as you need to work harder to keep your enemies in sight, which isn't a problem in another game like, Spider-Man or Bayonetta, where the camera's pulled back much further. Outside of gameplay, though, it frames story moments in, unforgettable ways.
Fine. My turn.
So, to recap, colors and camera angles make things look cool. Now the problem is that Wukong has none of this. It looks like a Marvel movie, and I mean that in the most derogatory way possible. There's no spectacle. Spider-Man, God of War, Bayonetta, Astral Chain, they all have at least one scene that makes you go, fuck. The Wukong doesn't have that. He doesn't even have a main character. I have yet to see this monkey emote. This lack of personality extends to the opening cutscene, and it's like the only actual kind of exciting cutscene in the game, because he runs down a mountain and flies on this cloud and goes to go fight some guy, and that they don't take advantage of that. I think it's a bad scene because A, the music's not very good, B, the lighting's kind of boring, it just takes place at daytime. I feel like it could have kind of set it at the morning or something, use shadows in a more fun way. And there's just some giants and an army and a dog which does a whole thing, and it just doesn't do anything. You don't fight the dog, but they spend okay. Point is, they didn't use their opening to sell you on the character. The opening of Spider-Man PS4, the opening of that game, you see, it goes in on his room. It lets you know that he's been Spider-Man for a while. And before he leaps out the window, you see that his bills are late. He is broke. He's a busy guy. His life is a mess. That tells you all you need to know. It's so good. The opening cutscenes of the Bayonetta games, they all sell you on the character. It's her. I mean, I really don't have to go into detail, but Wukong doesn't do that, and it extends to the moveset too. These games, you're supposed to have like a whole ass, fighting game moveset. But it just doesn't have it. Wukong's just some bum who turns into defeated enemies, and it feels really cheap. There's no bosses either. Well, I mean, there are bosses. There's plenty of bosses, but there's no bosses in the traditional action game sense. You see, in action games, and I know it's a vague term, but you know what I mean by that. Usually a boss will shake up the gameplay. They'll have like a unique gimmick, and they'll have some pretty good music. But in Wukong, they are just tough fights with a little monologue at the start because the monkey doesn't talk, he doesn't speak, he speaks no evil, I guess. And I really don't get how this is fun. Having a boss just be a normally difficult fight, that's not anything new. It's not a bad thing. In the first Bayonetta game, when you fight John, it feels like really exciting because like she has basically your moveset, and she it's a real test of skill because John is fast, so that's special. But in Black Myth and the Souls games, because that is what it is, it's trying to be a Souls game because fuck me, can't have anything good. But when you do that here, you don't really, and that's all you do. You never build any spectacle, and as such, the game just seems kind of boring, huh? Like, yeah, they gave a little monologue, and I guess that's cool. I guess there's lore for me to read up on, but where's the story? Where's the adventure? How can I, what are you gonna put in the trailer? I know I might seem harsh, and I'm not really sorry about that because you're taking something that has an incredible amount of potential and decided to just do another fucking Dark Souls clone, and those games aren't even that good. But, whatever. I just wanted to point out that, and I guess make a little zinger, a last second zinger, that everything I said also applies to Stellar Blade, except in that game add, I don't know, like, subtract 50 points for sexism, because, well, now you don't play as a monkey, you play as a sex robot, so I guess that's something. God, make a main character. That is a problem here. If you need to have a main character for your action game, otherwise I don't want to fucking play it. And don't you try to say, oh, but there's actually like such a deep story, and oh, Eve has a really cool character, oh, Wukong has such a good lore. Shut up. Lore does not mean story. A few months back, I thought about making a video on why gacha games can never reach the same heights as a classic console action game, and I feel like I kind of did that now by just talking about like just the lack of presentation and character, and like even if you like the gameplay, I mean that's fine. Even if your taste is shit enough for you to enjoy those character designs, I just want to say that those games do not have endings. And don't get me wrong, they serve a purpose. Like I've played like what was it, Punishing Gray Raven. I played that on my phone for like a month or two, and it's fine. Like it's something to do. Like it's the sound design is like all right, and like. Yeah, you hit things. It's like moderately satisfying. I like it, but to ever pretend that these things can, reach the same levels, and you're seriously gassing up Genshin or Zenless or Honkai or whatever the fuck. Shut up. I would tell you to do something far worse, but that's not me anymore. But. I guess my point is that games are an art, especially you making a satisfying action game that's an art. There's a lot of intentional choices that are made at every stage, and to see that, just not really, I don't know, respected or understood, or just, noticed, but unfortunately you can't do anything about it because, well, capitalism, you have to keep selling updates and selling characters. To see that just like out of the window, it does hurt. It makes me just not want to get into it, and that's why I don't get into it. No, I haven't bought Black Myth, and I won't get it unless it's on sale because it just looks like a boss rush. Maybe there's like small mobs or enemies you fight, I don't know, but I don't care because it looks boring. I saw a clip of it, and it's just brown. It's just a series of brown. There's the color. Monkey Kid, if you're a fan of Monkey Kid, you will cry at the sight of that game because you know what can be, but you see what is.